hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney and I'm a part-time artist with a full-time job who also does a lot of reading, knitting, sometimes quilting, not in any recent memory though, but that's okay. At any rate, welcome. So we are now in week 11 of The Artist's Way. 2 more weeks to go. We can do this. We're almost done. I'm a little over it. Can you tell? Are you over it? Let me know. So last week I actually took a week off from both filming and putting out a video. I just needed a little bit of downtime and that kind of went with last week's theme. But this week we are back on track. I'm finally back home. I had a lot of travel. We're done with that momentarily. But this week the theme is recovering a sense of autonomy, which is kind of fitting because I'm back on my own schedule, in control of my own things instead of having work travel and other travel things. So this is a good week for this theme. I'm pretty happy about how this worked out. In reading this week's chapter, one of the things it kind of talked about was needing a different way of working. And I think that's especially true for me because I also have ADHD. So sometimes having a routine and schedule just stresses me out too much. Sometimes I need the freedom to do things differently, and sometimes the routine is really, really helpful. So it just really depends on where the dopamine is coming from at that time. So for this, my kind of different way of working has really been turning my morning pages into like morning planning. I'm using that time to plan out my to-do list for the day and then whatever I'm going to do for YouTube, and kind of like making a little bit of a script so I know like what I'm going to talk about in these clips, and also just kind of an overview for the week as well, especially if it's on Monday. So I'm kind of flexing what she typically would have you do with those morning pages, because when I was doing them, all of the stuff that was coming out of my brain was still just to-do list items. That's mostly what is in my brain, is worrying about all of the things I need to get done. There wasn't a lot of reflection. I don't know what else anyone would write about in morning pages, because mine is just a to-do list and that makes sense to me. So I'm kind of shifting that a little bit. And then I'm also attempting this week, we'll see how it goes, to give myself 30 minutes in the morning before I start work to do either some sketchbook time or to work on a project that I have ongoing, just so I can feel like I have done something creative that day. And if I get to the end of the day and have no energy, it's okay. I already met one of my goals for my creative practice. So this morning after I did my morning pages, I got out the tomato painting that I had worked on months ago, and I decided to try to revisit it and see how I felt about it. So I did a couple of the little boxes of tomatoes. I'm meh about it. I think it might be the paint. I think the painting is not going to come out how I want it to, but I'm still going to finish it because I can at least have it for me if I don't like it enough to like put it in a show or sell or make prints of or anything. So I'm just playing around with it. There's no rules, there's no stress, there's no pressure. I don't have a deadline for it. So I just spent like 30 minutes this morning working on that painting, and that was really nice. So even if I get to the end of the day, I've already done something. I think this feels like my different way of working that's going to work for right now. I've been listening to a bunch of ADHD podcasts, and a lot of it talks about like how after a while, whatever routine you've set up for yourself is going to lose its sparkle and you're going to have to do something new. So I'm trying to embrace that mindset of this is right now's way of working. And when that is no longer doing it for me, we will have to change. So for this week, that's at least the plan. Some morning pages / morning planning time, and then doing some type of creative practice. Maybe that's just sketching in my sketchbook, or maybe it's working on a project. We'll see. You'll find out right along with me. So that's where we are at the start of week 11. Tonight, I may or may not be going to a summer concert series thing. A friend and I were talking about maybe going and doing some plein air, but it also looks like it might storm, and it's also ridiculously hot, and I have to get up super early tomorrow morning, so I'm leaning towards no, but we'll see. Maybe that will happen. I'm still working on the sweater project I was doing, so I'm gonna work on that if I don't go and paint things. And then tomorrow will be hopefully a productive get things done around the house and get some painting things done day. Then the rest of the week will kind of just be like normal work week things, which will be nice because the last couple weeks have been travel. So should be a pretty good week. I have a lot of autonomy. I get to direct where my schedule is going with most things. So fingers crossed that we're starting on a high note and we're going to continue on that trajectory. But for now, I am going to go finish up the couple things that I need to do for my work day and see whether or not we're going out to the concert or if it's raining. So I'll catch back up with you later this evening. All right, so I just got these prints in. I'm very excited. I like how these turned out. I had ordered these previously and I was hoping I could do them as a 5x7, but I really can't unless I shrink this some more because it cuts off the edges and that bothers me greatly. So I'll deal with that later, but for now I have that print as an 8x8. And I need to get this up on Etsy tonight because I actually have someone who wants to purchase one because they saw the bigger one downtown. So I'm excited about that. And then I have my Bear Pond prints. Finally, I'm very excited about these. They came out so good. I'm so excited. I love the lettering on there. I'm really, really, really happy about how that turned out. I mean, that's tiny. Look at that. That's tiny. So let's get these listed on Etsy, and then we'll see what else we have time for today. So this morning I told you I was thinking about going to go do some plein air at the music festival tonight. So I was talked into it. It is very warm outside, so we are probably only gonna stay like an hour, and also my phone battery is dying and I didn't grab another camera. So I don't know if I'm gonna record any of this, but we're here. We're gonna do some plein air and meet up with my friend, and I will show you what I did probably tomorrow. But let's go head to the music festival because it starts in like 10 minutes.
Festival and Dreams. And tonight we are extraordinarily blessed to have them here. They were formed in 2003, they toured and recorded for 10 years, and they reunited in 2017. Their voice...
All right, so we did it. We did the plein air painting. It is sunset. So I'm gonna head home and take a shower because it was 80 outside, and then I will catch up with you tomorrow because I have a busy morning, so we'll chat tomorrow afternoon. Hello. It is Thursday afternoon and I wanted to check in. So yesterday I took kind of the day off from everything. We had some appointments to go to, like an hour and 10 minutes away. So we had to be there at 8, get up super early, leave and do all those things. So I did my morning pages, but I didn't have time to do my sketching practice that I wanted to do. So let's watch this clip from week 8. Either in addition to or in place of the morning pages, I think what would be useful to me is to do like a 10-minute morning daily drawing exercise. So like just a quick sketch to just get warmed up, and be able to say that I did something creative today. I did some type of skill practice. Yeah. So back in week 8, I said I wanted to do like a daily sketching practice of some kind. Yeah, we're still working on that. So the problem I'm having is I have 3 different sketchbooks, and then I also have projects. So like Monday, I think I worked on a painting. I worked on a painting on Monday, but I don't think I did anything in my sketchbook. And then Tuesday, I went with my friend to do the plein air sketching. It was super fun, and that was my sketchbook stuff for that day. And then yesterday, I did a little sketch at the coffee shop. No, it was a cafe that we went to. So we grabbed lunch after all of the appointments and things were over. So I have that little Royal Talons sketchbook that I bought that fits in my crossbody bag. It's the bag I take everywhere with me. So I was able to do some sketching while we were out and about because I hadn't had time that morning. So just in the past 3 days, that's 3 different sketching things that I've done. And then I also have my like experimental sketchbook. So I need a way to track whether or not I'm doing my daily art practice without using the same sketchbook. So if you have any suggestions for tracking a daily art practice that's in different spaces, different books, different sketchbooks, let me know. So I really want to figure out a way to do this and track it because I think tracking it will help me see that I've made progress, that I have been doing the things that I wanted to do. And one of the things that she talked about in week 11 is that self-respect comes from doing the work. And for me, that is kind of a daily drawing practice, and I feel better about myself when I can say that I've done that every day. So I really am going to try to find a way to track that. It's probably going to have to be an app. So maybe I'll look a little bit later and see if I can find something. But definitely leave me a comment if you have a suggestion for how to track a daily drawing practice that's in different places. But I have not done my daily sketching or drawing practice today, so I'm gonna go do that, and I'm not sure which sketchbook I want to use. So let's go figure that out and do a little bit of sketching and drawing. So we can check that box off, then I'll find an app and figure out how to track it. So I'm kind of playing around with layout ideas for the next bigger, more complex piece that I want to work on. So these are actually my grandmother's, and I want to do a painting of these and her biscuit recipe, but I'm trying to decide if I want to do it top down like that or more at an angle. And so this one's kind of more at an angle and this one is top down. It's hard to see just in pencil, but I know the pastry cutter will be easier from a top down angle, but then also, does it read as a pastry cutter? Will it just look like a U? I think if you do it this angle, it looks more like the object that it is. So yeah, I'm gonna think about that for a little bit, but that's so far today's sketch. I might do a little bit more later, but I was just trying to work through that idea in my experimental sketchbook today. All right, I'll check in with you probably tomorrow. All right, welcome to the end of week 11. So yesterday I actually spent most of the day at a friend's house. I did some art outside. I did a quick little plein air painting of her house, which was super fun. She just bought a new house and moved. So that was really fun to do in my sketchbook. And I think I've figured out a way that I'm going to track my daily drawing practice regardless of what sketchbook it's in. So I'm usually, for the most part, already taking pictures of whatever sketching or drawing or painting or whatever that I did that day anyway, usually for Instagram or taking a video for YouTube. So I'm going to make a folder in my phone with all of my daily drawings. So that way they're already dated because I took the photo on the day that I did it. And then I can have kind of a history of all of the different drawings that I did. So I just have to remember to take the photo. So they're not always going to be the best drawings that day. Sometimes it might just be a quick little pencil sketch. So we have that part figured out. Then one of the other things that week 11 talked about was creating what wants to be created. And I'm kind of torn on this because part of me is like, I really want to focus on the business side. I want to do something consistent, probably the architectural illustrations that I started off with. That is the most marketable for me right now in the space that I'm in and like where I live. So part of me says like I should focus on that so that I can build up the business side of things. But then creatively, I get the point that you should do what you're drawn to. So I have a little bit of a haul. So I ordered some things from Blick, so we're gonna open those right now. And the reason that I ordered things online instead of going to my local art store is that I did go to my local art store, but they didn't have the size of canvas that I wanted. So that's a spoiler for what's in this box. All right, hold on while I wrestle with this. We have a 12 by 16 canvas. Then we have a 9 by 12 canvas. I have 2 little 6 by 6 canvases. And then this was the main reason for the order, a 8 by 24 canvas. So, yeah, normally I do watercolor and gouache and you don't really need canvas for those. However, you can see up here, I have started to play around with some abstract painting. So this one is not finished. We are in process with this piece, but I have an idea for what I want to do on this one. And if I get into the show that I just entered, you had to send in a couple samples, so I did that. If I get in, I really want to put this, the larger canvas in the show, and maybe this one. So I'm playing around with acrylics. So let me show you the rest of the haul, and then we'll talk about why. So then I just got some basics, Liquitex Basics acrylic. This is in fluorescent pink. And then I got a parchment and a neutral gray. So we have these, and you can tell the pink is kind of going in that direction. This goes back to the creating art that wants to be created. So I've always loved abstract art. I'm really drawn to it in museums, but it's really scary to create and it's hard. But that's kind of what I feel like doing right now. So I think possibly on the business side, I'm going to focus more on the architectural illustrations and promoting those on social media and everything. And then I think maybe just like for me and maybe a little bit on YouTube, I'm going to work on some abstracts. I'm going to lean into doing what I feel called to do and embracing that side of my creativity, because hopefully that will fuel and motivate me to do those other pieces. So we'll see how that goes, but that was the big lesson that I took away from week 11. Then the other thing that I wanted to share with you from week 11 was this quote. It says, "Creativity is a spiritual practice. It is not something that can be perfected, finished, or set aside." So basically, keep going. And I fully agree with that. I really like that quote. Creativity is something that we have to practice. We have to engage with every day. Otherwise, it will kind of like fade. If you're not actively like using that creative muscle, then you're not going to have those sparks, those ideas, that kind of flow state with your creative practice. So I am embracing that. I'm going to kind of separate things out. So I have those other pieces that are hopefully making money. And then the part that's kind of just for me. So I really enjoyed week 11. I think it had a lot of really good takeaways. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you got out of week 11 if you're following along with me. I'd love to hear in the comments down below. And don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. But I hope you're having a great week wherever you are. and I'll see you in the next one. I'm Courtney, and all right, so we did it. We did the planet. All right, turns out all of my camera batteries are dead, so I don't know if any of this is going to be usable.